What's up, guys? I'm about to react to the Spider-Man brand new day trailer. So let's get started here. Waiting for people to come in. I think that this Spider-Man brand new day trailer is going to be. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be good, but I've always had an issue with the Tom Holland Spider-Man films. I feel like the tone is not there for me. The tone does not work for me. I want more of a serious, grounded tone, and I feel like the Tom Holland films don't have that. So yeah. But anyways, we're about to get started here in a little bit. Waiting for some people to come in. Hopefully somebody comes in to see me react to this trailer. Um, and we'll find out what happens. So yeah. I'm gonna give it about another 3 minutes or so, and then if nobody shows up, I will just start the reaction anyways. So yeah. Okay, so when we have a few more people in here, I will begin the reaction to Spider-Man Brand New Day. Honestly, I'm not a fan of Tom Holland. Okay, I'm not a fan of Tom Holland Spider-Man. I think I don't know, I just don't feel I want more of a grounded tone for a Spider-Man film. And to me, he just doesn't have it. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens, but let's get started. I'll give it another minute and then we'll react to it. So yeah. So how are you guys doing? Let me know. How's everybody's day going? But yeah. So how are you guys doing? Let me know. How's everybody's day going? But yeah. So how are you guys doing? Let me know. How's everybody's day going? But yeah. So how are you guys doing? Let me know. I'll be reacting in a minute here. So I'm low key excited, but then again I'm not excited because it's Tom Holland Spider-Man. And I'm just not a fan of Tom Holland Spider-Man, okay? But we shall see. I heard rumors that Scorpion is going to be in it, the Punisher and all those characters, and apparently there's going to be some sort of like man spider. Dr. Viper, come to us. Yeah, I don't know where that link takes me, so unfortunately I don't think I can. But I will be reacting to this in a few minutes here. Well, what is this link here? Remaining ellipse to you. What's this link here? Can you explain like what this is? Well, let's get started here. And three, two, one. You guys
I
hear the
can't
audio?
believe our first hit MIT. MJ, come on, pretend like you're not the happiest you've ever been in your entire life.
I can't.
I knew it.
Sweet, okay. No mask. Wow. Marvel
Hi,
Studios.
my name is Peter Parker. You don't remember me, but
That's right,
we
everybody
used to
forgot
know
who
each
he
other.
was.
Something bad was going to happen, and the only way to stop it was to make everyone forget about me.
Everyone forget about me.
Because I'm not just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man.
Okay. Crap, is that the Punisher? That tank?
The hell, Frank?
Oh,
You
shit,
just
it
hit me
is.
with a van!
Quit your whimpering.
Holy crap.
Suit
Okay.
yourself.
Man. Yo, he just...
Go home!
Yo, he just served him up, yo.
And sometimes Spider-Man has to do the hard thing, even if it breaks Peter Parker's heart.
Ah, forget about it. I was hoping we would get a new love interest for Spider-Man in this film, man. Forget this, like,
What
Zendaya
is
and
happening
shit,
to me?
bro. Move on. I guess this is alluding to Man Spider here.
Excuse me, Dr. Banner. I need your help.
So,
What
out
is
of all
their
the
name?
scientists in Marvel Universe, you go to Dr. Banner. Fine, to help
DNA
you
is
with your
mutating.
mutation.
Could be enormously dangerous.
Spiders have 3 life cycles.
Okay.
When between cycles, it can leave the spider vulnerable to threats.
We are faced with a danger that we can't control. One we can't even
What the hell
see.
is that?
Stay out of my way.
You're losing it, kid.
And for those spiders who make it through, it amounts to a kind of rebirth.
Oh, the hand. Okay. Yeah,
Nice flowers.
Oh, they're a housewarming gift.
I'm MJ.
I'm just a neighbor from across the hall.
Friendly neighbor.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Okay, why is the Spider-Man why did the Spider-Man 2 game ad come up? Oh well. Anyways, so here's what I think about it. I think it looks good. The tone is just a little off-putting to me. I don't like the lighthearted tone, like I said before. That's part of the reason why I like The Amazing Spider-Man a lot, is because it did have a darker tone and it was more grounded. Um, I don't really know how I feel about this, honestly. I think it's gonna be good. I think there's gonna be some parts in here that make it seem like a good movie, and there's gonna be some parts that are just like, ah. But I'm digging the way they went with Man Spider, or how they're going with the Man Spider storyline. That was one of my favorite storylines from the comics and from the '90s television series from like '94, I believe, is when it started. Um, there was like a whole Man Spider arc in that TV series, but I gotta say, I'm digging that. I'm digging that we saw Scorpion. I'm digging that, I think that was Tarantula we saw in there, too. And we also saw the Punisher, and Spider-Man served up Punisher. It would be perfect if they made a scene at the end of the film where the Punisher gets better tech and just rolls out, and then just like sees a whole bunch, like he just like rolls out with a whole bunch of new tech, and he just fucking starts spraying away at the hand ninjas. Like that would be cool to see. Yeah, yeah. So another thing I wanted to react to was, I don't know if you know these guys. They're the Escape podcast. I don't really agree with a lot of the stuff they say either. I feel like they say a lot of things that do not make sense. Well, I agree with some of the stuff they say, but let me see. Escape Clips podcast. I don't agree with everything these guys say, but let's see. I want to show you guys something. I'll just pull up any random clip, and then I promise you, or I'll just type in TASM too, because they have, or I'll just type in Spider-Man because there. Watch. I don't really agree with anything these guys say.
Spider-Man 2 PS5 has already been forgotten because it was a bad game.
Yes, it was.
Three,
Spider-Man
two,
2
one.
was a bad game.
Disagree. Agree.
It's not
I agree.
bad.
Spider-Man
They just
2 was a
fumbled.
bad game, yo. Spider-Man 2 is not as good as Web of Shadows, and it's not as good as Ultimate Spider-Man, and it's not as good as any of the other Spider-Man games that came out.
Fumbled
How did they
how?
fumble?
I don't see people talking about it anymore.
That's true. People are talking about it as
No, they're not.
Spider-Man PS4 had legs. People talked about that game for years. I do feel
first
that.
one, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man
Yes.
2 has been forgotten a bit. I will give you that. I don't think it's because it's a bad game though. But how did they fumble?
I say the story was the weakest, and they're not dropping any extra
DLCs. But we didn't get any DLC.
No, I don't know what we're getting next.
That'll give.
Yeah, and I heard we were supposed to get DLC for Spider-Man 2, and we didn't even get DLC. And the story's trash. He didn't have the black suit long enough. It was literally a shit show. It was literally a freaking shit show. Okay, it didn't have the black suit long enough. It wasn't cool. It wasn't cool like it should have been. Okay, he just didn't like. He just didn't have the black suit long enough, and he had nothing long enough. Okay, like it was just. It was bad. And then I just feel like I like Miles and being in the same game as Peter, but I just feel like it was hard balancing, the two different story arcs going on. Even though they definitely intertwined, but yeah. So that's what I think. Yeah, I'm gonna react to one more Escape Clips podcast. Escape podcast clip. Sorry, because I think that their opinions are pretty trash, honestly. Well, some of their opinions are trash. I just think that they're not true. I feel like that some of them might not. I like Andrew. I think I end up agreeing with Andrew more than the other guy. But some of what they say is just bonkers. Like, I'm being serious. Like, some of what they say is really just bonkers. So let's go to. Some of what they say is bonkers. I agree with this.
The whole movie, he's like, I want to be an Avenger. And then he even says, I don't even have to go to this school, bro. Like, he doesn't want to do normal kid. That's the thing about Spider-Man wants to be normal. He wants the girl.
I feel like
he wants the
does
job.
want to be normal.
He does not. He wants to be the opposite, which is the Avengers. That's why he's constantly calling Tony Stark, going like, hey.
Texting Happy
all day because he wants one thing. That's not Spider-Man. That's every kid's dream. I get it, but that's not Spider-Man.
We were talking about this earlier. At the end of No Way Home is when we finally feel Spider-Man. We get the normal suit that he made himself, swinging through New York. He's in an apartment that he's struggling to pay for by himself. Now I feel like we're starting with Spidey.
The whole movie, he's like,
I can get behind with more of what Andrew says than the other guy, the other co-host for that podcast. Let's see if we can react to one more here.
Spider-Man would beat Batman in a fight.
Oh yeah, I don't agree with what they said about TASM 1.
But I'm like fully to the point where I think TASM 1 is like a clearly significantly worse movie than TASM 2. Because
it is.
Because and that I think that's a hot take, but it's like
TASM 1 is
TASM 1,
better.
there's nothing exceptional. Nothing about it is exceptional. And there's so much exceptional in TASM 2. Yes, the lows of TASM 2 are so much lower than TASM 1, but TASM 1 is just a 6 out of 10 all the way through. And TASM 2 like legitimately has 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10 moments. And yes, there are 0 out of 10 moments. But like and there's nothing 0 out of 10 in TASM 1, and that's why for so long people were like, yeah, TASM 1 is better.
The issue with TASM 1 was, why are we retreading the origin? We should have just skipped that.
Spider-Man.
I don't have a problem that you redid the origin in a TASM 1. I do have a problem that you tried to make it the Dark Knight.
That's an interesting take. I haven't heard that one before.
It is so
too
grounded.
grounded.
That movie is so dark and grounded and serious and too in its own head. And TASM 2
It was around the same time when that was like a fad too.
That's
maybe
what made the
that
movie
Andrew
good,
has
was that it was dark
convinced
and
me
serious
after all
in
these
its
years.
own head.
But
What are
I'm
you
like
talking
fully
about,
to the
bro?
point where I think TASM 1 is like a clearly significantly worse movie than TASM 2. Because
it is.
Because and that I think that's a hot take, but it's like
For now. Alright. Anyways. Tell me what you guys think. Did you guys like the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer? Are you guys looking forward to it? Let me know. Peace out.